Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will learn about the dramatic family dynamics unfolding in the popular CBS soap opera that has viewers on the edge of their seats. The unexpected father-daughter revelation. Finn's difficult decision regarding Luna marks a pivotal moment in their newly discovered relationship. As Luna tearfully pleaded to avoid returning to prison, all eyes turned to Finn, placing him in an impossible position. Despite knowing he risks losing everything he holds dear, his marriage, his reputation, his established family, Finn simply cannot bring himself to deny his daughter's desperate request. The emotional weight of this newfound paternal connection appears to be overriding his logical judgment. This father-daughter dynamic promises to evolve in fascinating ways moving forward. Finn, who has always presented himself as a principled doctor and family man, now finds himself potentially compromising his values for a daughter he barely knows. The biological connection seems to have instantly created a powerful bond that transcends their limited history together. Meanwhile, Steffi's determination to pursue her new mission suggests she won't quietly accept this situation. Her protective instincts toward her own family unit with Finn will likely clash with Luna's growing presence in their lives. This triangle of competing interests, Finn's paternal instincts, Luna's desperate need for protection, and Steffi's family preservation efforts, creates a perfect storm of dramatic tension. Deacon's confrontation with Sheila. The complex moral positioning of characters continues as Deacon directly challenges his wife Sheila about her unexpected empathy for Poppy. Deacon appears genuinely perplexed by Sheila's compassionate stance, questioning her reasoning and emotional investment in Poppy's situation. His confrontational approach suggests underlying concerns about Sheila's judgment or perhaps fears about where her sympathies might lead. Deacon might reasonably argue that Poppy has had years to shape Luna's character and values, making her responsible for her daughter's current predicament. The irony, of course, lies in Deacon's own parental history. His daughter's behavior hardly represents moral perfection either. This creates an interesting parallel between the two fathers, both struggling with the consequences of their children's actions while attempting to maintain moral high ground. Sheila's empathy stems from her personal history of forced separation from her own child, a pain she intimately understands. However, her compassion exists in a vacuum of incomplete information. She remains unaware of the full circumstances. That Poppy engaged in a relationship with an 18-year-old Finn, resulting in Luna's birth. This missing context would likely transform Sheila's sympathy into something far less charitable, especially given her protective nature toward Finn. The hospital confrontation. The emotional centerpiece of upcoming events will undoubtedly be the explosive confrontation between Lee and Poppy at the hospital. Lee continues processing the shocking revelation that her sister slept with her son, a betrayal of the highest order in Lee's eyes. The fact that Lee had graciously opened her home to Poppy only compounds the perceived treachery. During Finn's confession, Lee demonstrated remarkable restraint, recognizing that her son bears no culpability for circumstances he couldn't have understood at the time. Her controlled reaction in that moment stands in stark contrast to the volcanic eruption awaiting Poppy. When Poppy arrives at the hospital seeking Lee, she walks directly into an emotional ambush. Lee's demand for truth will likely be met with Poppy's continued deception until the weight of evidence makes further lies impossible. At that point, Poppy may pivot to justifications and excuses, a strategy that will only intensify Lee's fury. The preview scene depicting Lee physically assaulting Poppy, hands around her throat as she pins her against the wall, illustrates just how dramatically this confrontation will escalate. Sheila's complicated empathy. Sheila Carter Sharp finds herself in an unusual position of empathy regarding Poppy's situation. Drawing from her own painful experiences of forced separation from her child, Sheila connects with Poppy's predicament on an emotional level. This rare display of compassion from a character often defined by her manipulative and self-serving actions offers an intriguing glimpse into Sheila's psychological complexity. However, Sheila's empathy exists on a foundation of incomplete information. She remains unaware of the full circumstances surrounding Poppy and Finn's past relationship, specifically that Poppy engaged with an 18-year-old Finn, resulting in Luna's conception. This missing context would likely transform Sheila's perspective dramatically, potentially replacing sympathy with protective rage toward Finn. The contrast between Sheila's current empathy and her potential reaction when learning the complete truth creates a fascinating tension. Viewers can anticipate a significant shift in Sheila's position once the full story emerges, likely resulting in her empathy going out the window as her protective instincts toward Finn override any connection she felt with Poppy's maternal suffering. Lee's emotional journey. Lee Finnegan's emotional journey represents one of the most compelling aspects of this unfolding drama. Her initial reaction to Finn's confession demonstrated remarkable restraint and maternal protection, recognizing that her son was not at fault for circumstances beyond his control. This measured response, however, belied the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. The revelation that her sister engaged in a relationship with her son while staying in Lee's home constitutes a dual betrayal of extraordinary magnitude. Not only did Poppy violate the sacred trust between sisters, but she also took advantage of a young man who was, in many ways, still finding his way into adulthood. Lee's invitation for Poppy to live with her, an act of familial generosity, now appears to have been exploited in the most painful way imaginable. When Poppy arrives at the hospital seeking Lee, the controlled facade finally crumbles. Lee's demand for truth represents her last attempt at rational engagement before emotion overwhelms reason. As Poppy likely continues her pattern of deception and eventual excuse-making, Lee's patience evaporates completely, resulting in the physical confrontation previewed for viewers, a shocking moment where Lee physically assaults her sister, graphically illustrating the depth of her betrayal and rage. This explosive confrontation will undoubtedly reshape the sisters' relationship permanently, creating ripple effects throughout their extended family connections and potentially forcing others to choose sides in this deeply personal conflict. The dramatic tension building across these interconnected storylines promises viewers an emotionally charged and morally complex viewing experience in the days ahead. Family loyalty, parental protection, betrayal, and redemption all intertwine as characters navigate the consequences of long-buried secrets finally emerging into the light. As we continue following these compelling storylines, we'll witness how these momentary decisions shape long-term relationships and potentially alter the trajectory of multiple characters' lives forever. Stay tuned for more updates as this captivating drama continues to unfold.